about new generations, young generations. This one is talking about the young WWE talent on the men and women's roster, all the NXT up and comers. We had Becky Lynch on Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast, and she shared her opinion on the young talent that are coming up. So if you guys haven't seen the new episode, it was actually really good. I feel like Becky Lynch is always a great storyteller when it comes to these podcasts. She's really good at just kind of setting the story, giving you a nice conversation. It doesn't feel like it's lasting like an hour and a half. And I think she has a good rapport with Stephanie McMahon where the podcast just flows really well. So, new interview with Becky on Steph's podcast. They were discussing the future of WWE talent-wise, and Becky Lynch expressed her opinion that when she looks at the future of the women's division, she thinks they'll headline more WrestleManias than the young male talent. So, she said, this is what she said. She said, I find no offense. I'm not throwing the lads under the bus. There's some great dudes and there's some great up and coming dudes. But when I look at the future, I think the women are going to be main eventing more manias than the dudes because I think the well of potential, such colorful personalities, very athletic. There's a lot of care, I think, put in, and there's a lot of thought put into people's characters, I feel. There's just a lot of life. There's just a lot of life in that division, a lot of life, and there's a lot of stories to be told, and we're getting to tell them, and it's awesome. It's an awesome, awesome time. One of the younger talents that Becky Lynch wrapped up a program with was, of course, Sol Ruca. Ruca defeated Lynch at Clash in Italy to become the new women's Intercontinental champion. So, David, Becky explicitly stated that she thinks the women's division, the new up-and-comers, and we're talking about like all the current main roster that are like super young, or, Blake Monroe, I guess I could put Jade Cargill in there, Sol Ruca, we just talked about. All the NXT women on the JC Jane, NXT women as well. She thinks the women's division will main event more WrestleManias in the future than the up-and-coming men because of their character depth and the well of potential. If you compare the young talent on the roster to the men that they currently have, the current crop of young men that are on the roster, do you agree with her, or is the male main event scene still tracking to hold onto the top spots of WrestleMania?
I think it'll be more of a back and forth, kind of like how it was, like say like the Rousey 4-way, or when Mercedes went against Bianca. I think there'll be more of it where like they get like a night. I think they'll get more regular pay-per-views. I think and I feel like they say it all the time in like random interviews and stuff, but the girls just really understand their characters. Like they kind of I feel like they understand the whole like mental approach towards like, hey, be whatever you want, just multiply it times 10. Like, you're a mean girl, you want to go ahead, be a mean girl. You're a scene kid, be a scene kid. Like you want to be like this, go ahead, be like that. And I think girls have a better understanding of branding, and all of them are athletes, so it's just like that part's easy for them.
Yeah.
And I think they're also a lot more grounded when it comes to like getting advice from like especially like dudes, like just being able to get that advice and kind of run with it. I feel like, I mean, like for example, like me, if like let's say Chris Jericho rips a match of mine in half, like I'd be like, oh fuck Chris Jericho, like I'd be a little sad, right? Where I feel like a girl might just be like, oh, Chris said he liked this, this, and this. Like, I'd forget about everything he said that he liked. Or even, like, I wouldn't want to change what he said he didn't like because I'd be like, oh, like, you're 52, bro.
Yeah.
I think guys are more prone to that.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, what do you think? So she comparing the young women talent to the men, do you agree that theoretically the women will be main eventing more frequently than the men based on the well of potential in the women's roster versus the men?
What's her name? Lizzie Rain? Is it the one in NXT?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's like my example of just like she understands her character, she understands her presentation in the ring, but that's also seems to be across the board in NXT and all these women that are like showing up in on the main roster. And it just seems like they're able to use these women on all parts of the card where you can have a tag team with some of these newer folk, you could have that mid card, you could have these main event women. So I would say kind of like what David is saying with they understand their character. They understand the depth of their specific characters, and it works well with presenting it on television. And it's like not to say that there isn't obviously men on the roster that are new, like Ethan Page and guys like that understand who they are, but I feel like it's few and far between as far as like newer guys. Some
Those
feel
girls
like
are under.
copycats, you know.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure out like what her threshold is for young talent. Would she consider Danhausen to be young talent, or is he's newer? Does she think that he's young talent? I mean, I guess maybe she doesn't think he's a main eventer.
I think it's an age thing.
Yeah.
Because she's also like, I'm sure she remembers being young in NXT and watching like all of them struggle with like promo class and stuff, and then it's like now you're seeing like these 23-year-old women that are just like they fucking nailing it, you know.
Yeah.
And she might be around more to see like the dudes putting around because dudes are dudes. We're just gonna be like, oh man, like they're gonna be a little more anal about their wrestling. A lot of them also grew up fans, or I feel like the guys on the NXT side of things are also a little more like, I don't want to say insecure, but it's like they're really aware that they have an uphill battle being an NIL versus being some indie darling that finisher spams.
Yeah.
Like
I guess it also I think they do have the capacity to main event. I guess it just also boils down to, for the women, it boils down to how WWE books their shows. Because I still there's been an evolution for women's wrestling, but I still have the feeling that WWE still does main events still more around the men on the roster than the women. And maybe it's just because they had a recent string of super popular, like once in a generation, like older wrestler main eventers that have been main eventing. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, like folks like that. So I guess they feel like those are the Roman Reigns, those are the guys that are putting butts in seats.
yeah.
But
would you feel like they're getting a main event if WWE changed how they approach? I mean, they kind of already approached their cards that way, but it's like, if from now on that the women's title, like say as a women's title match, those are reserved for like second to last on the card. Like the only thing going after that is a WWE title match.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like even the women and the men would also think that, because like they're still, people still give shit that like WrestleMania Saturday main event, like even though it's the last match, they still don't think it's the main event.
Oh, it's the best match on Saturday.
Yeah. So I think that's the main event. True. But I feel like I still think like the last card, the match on the card is the main event.
Yeah,
personally,
of course,
because you get second or third main events, I guess, but I feel like that's just a nice way of just like it feels like co. So I'm talking like it's the last match on the card, and I don't feel like the women in the past three, I don't think they've had
What if they
main event.
rotated pay-per-views
What do you
for who
mean?
went last?
You mean like 1 year, the women main event?
Oh, like month. Like per
Oh,
PLE.
that'd be interesting. But I think for me, it comes down to the story. If it's not an
Gotcha.
interesting story, then I don't think I'd put it in the main event just because we want to rotate the matches. You know what I mean? So I think the women have a bunch of talent and they do have realized characters. I also think that WWE needs to also do a better job at really getting some like stories that people want to invest in. Like Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley is cool, but I don't know how much people are invested in that story. You know,
Right.
I thought the story, like Liv Morgan, like I felt like oh my god, I just forgot her name. Who was the champ before Liv Morgan?
Vaquer.
Stephanie Vaquer, thank you. I felt like Stephanie Vaquer was an afterthought in a lot of her matches, in her reign in general. I felt like it was not treated as well as it could have been compared to the men. And I
thought her Mania build was nice.
It was okay, but again, it's still, I don't know. It just didn't feel like they put as much love into it as the main events for the men, for me personally. And like same thing with like Giulia. Like I don't know what happened with her U.S. title runs, but it also felt like they didn't know what they wanted to do with her. Like she's a crazy good talent. It seems like that they're making her face maybe because she turned on. Is it Kiana? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they like it seems like they basically broke up. So now they're trying to make Giulia a face. And yeah, so maybe they're not going to do her dirty anymore and actually do something with Giulia because I do think that she wasn't used to the best of her ability. And Chelsea Green, I mean, that's another one where like talk about like a realized character and she understands like I think she's one of the most over wrestlers period on the roster. And it seems like she's a baby face now, like some kind of tweener kind of thing,
Yeah.
but it seems like they're like she's still Chelsea Green, but like she's just on the nice side, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's interesting. But I mean, what do you guys think about that comment about that there's more care and thought put into the characters in the women's division right now compared to the men? Do you feel like that's a fair critique? We made some comments on it, but if we actually look at the young men on NXT and the ones that just came in, I mean Oba Femi, I mean that's the other one. Like all these women came in and then Oba Femi like comes in and then he's treated like, you know, the next big thing, literally.
He's 3 years cooking though. He's been in NXT killing shit for a while.
Right.
He's been in NXT. He's been killing it in NXT since Bron Breakker's been out of there.
Yeah.
Just for like in reference in time.
So in terms of like my question, like for the young men roster as a whole, and we're including Oba Femi in there, you got Javon Evans, you got Trick Williams. I mean, the men on the NXT roster, Miles, and
Right.
yeah, like how would you compare
Tony
all
D,
of them?
baby.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo. Like, how would you compare those guys to the women? Do you feel like it's a fair assessment for the men roster? Do you look at them and you compare them to the women? You're like, eh.
I feel like in overall, I feel like in the overall crop of it, maybe. I mean, of course, you know, if we go compare the top dogs to the top dogs, we're like, oh no, they're hanging around. But I think it really does come down to like the fresh faces or the people that are still like working their way up, or even in the NXT ladder. Like I feel like they definitely are excelling in that sense. Because like even like right now, like a big thing on NXT, and it should have been the whole time Saints and Paige were there, because it's like they keep bringing in outsiders to help these other guys, which is good, but it's like you don't really see that on the other side.
Who, David, because I feel like you paid more attention to NXT. What male on the NXT roster currently do you feel like can be the level of like a Sol Ruca that we think, has that same level of understanding their character? Because there's Miles Bourne, Tony D'Angelo's the NXT champion.
Tony D is good.
Vanity Project, the two guys with the China knockoff.
They're kind of cool, but they're just pretty deadly in a less cool way. They're not with no disco ball, so boring.
Yeah. I mean, like looking at Cutler, James, Dion, Lennox.
I think those guys are all right. I think those guys are stuck at
Shield, though.
Yeah, I would say those guys are stuck at NIL purgatory. Like those guys are definitely know that they have to battle against being in NIL.
Yeah. I mean, Jackson Drake. I mean, I guess he's part of the Vanity Project.
Evil
package deal,
but he's not from there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think we'll be able to say Mason Rook. I think he's gonna end up like he does. Like he has an idea, but I think WWE is really gonna help him get over and be what everybody kind of sees him as already. I think they'll help him get that to the masses, because I think he does need a little bit of work, but it's nothing crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can also evolve. Like Aaron Rourke, I think he gets it. He's like a unique talent. Like it's not something that they actually have on the roster. And he's the current Evolve champ. So, I mean, good for him. But yeah, I mean, like looking at NXT, like Lizzie Rain, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker.
One dude that gets it is Starboy, Chaz Hall.
Oh, Chaz Hall, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's doing the same thing in the Indies as Starboy Charlie. Like he definitely gets who he is.
Yeah, so I mean, there are some folks. I think there was like, if we're looking at like NXT imports, I feel like there's been a bigger amount of women from NXT that are like heavy hitters than the men. I mean, we do have Trick Williams, like I said, and Carmelo, and who else? Javon Evans.
Sorry.
So there are some folks on there, but yeah, I feel like there was a lot of more like women from the NXT roster that showed up and made a bigger impact. But let me ask you this: what if WWE? Do you think WWE would ever go back to one night WrestleMania?
No.
Too much money to be made.
Well, let's pretend that it does go. If it does do like night one, do we feel like the math changes then on like a women's main event? Do you think WWE would put a women's main event if it was a one night WrestleMania?
I mean,
here's where things get complicated. Let's say male star top dog makes 20 mil. Let's say top woman makes 12 mil. Right?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna pay? Like somebody's paid to be up there.
Right. Comes down to the contracts. I mean, I am genuinely curious about the pay structure and how much of the pattern of women being paid less than men, if that reflects in women's pay on the roster, like main eventers like a Rhea Ripley. How much does she get versus like a Cody Rhodes, I think that'd be interesting, and we won't see it, but
you can't compare it to Cody, because it'd have to be like.
Would you compare Rhea to me? Like we'd be curious to see
on a contract, probably like a Rollins or lower, not lower, but like if we're gonna pick somebody established, I'd say like Rollins.
Do you think Seth Rollins is getting paid less than Cody Rhodes?
Oh, dude, I mean, they had to get him out of AEW, bro. How else are you gonna get him out of AEW?
Yeah,
It's not just
I guess you gotta bribe
home.
them.
It's not just home. Like I'll
Give
call
him
anything
bang.
home, and you can give me 25 million. Oh, hey Vince, you brought the Brinks truck? Yeah, this is home. Yeah, like
Yeah,
let
that's
Paul
true.
know I didn't mean anything. I did. It's wrestling, right? It was working them, right?
CM Punk said
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Thanks for
So
the Brinks truck.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like there's plenty of women. I just want WWE, like sometimes I think they need to get more creative with their stories for the
I
women,
agree.
because there's more stuff to like get them invested, you know,
Right.
in the story. Sometimes I feel like it almost feels like a passive, like an afterthought, in my opinion, when it comes to like building up a proper. Because like what is currently back in like the top stuff, it's like Bloodline and that kind of stuff. Like I want like a women's story that carries through both shows and is actually has the same gravity as like a Bloodline story. And that's what I want. I think that's
Here.
my commentary, you know.
Nia Jax, Tamina, Naomi, female bloodline.
Yeah,
There
I mean,
you
like
go.
fucking, yeah, like Naomi, congratulations to her, but like she was one person that I was so invested in because I
Yeah.
thought she was such a great character, and then congratulations, she got pregnant, but you know, like I hope she comes back.
What about my wrestling?
Yeah, yeah. Why won't you entertain me?
I miss seeing you on Mondays.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought she was gonna have a generational run, and I think she'll be back. But yeah, Naomi. But yeah, like I mean, like just talking about like the up and comers. You got Sol Ruca, you got Roxanne Perez, you got Giulia, you got Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, like that's a 4 horsewoman lineup right there. If they want to do something like that, but they got a whole roster of some amazing women, and I'm hoping that they really give them something to sink their teeth into. And maybe it'll happen. King of the Ring, I don't know, and I think this is a good segue.